Good early afternoon. We are live here on the Blue Plate Special. I'm Andy Andrews. We are at Wisdom Harbor Studios here in Orange Beach, Alabama at the wharf. And we're excited to be with you today. Got a great show today. Great show. I'm going to show you some stuff they've probably never seen. I don't even know that you've seen a picture of some of this stuff. And so it's kind of a continuation of Veterans Day that we're going to do. So if you're on Facebook, make sure you got that notification clicked and notification turned on your phone. And please share, okay? Please share this with your friends. And go ahead and just click that share button, and it'll give you an option and then share to your page. And then the show will be on your page. I promise not to embarrass you very much. We also want to thank the people here with Instagram, the Twitter squad, all you Twitter people who haven't had your Twitter account suspended, and the YouTube people. Please press that subscribe button. If you haven't gone on YouTube to press the subscribe button, please do. I've got a couple of cool things. Have we got the countdown clock going? Let's
see. We got to put that up.
Not there yet? Okay. We're just, we're kind of anxious to get out of the year. And so we're just making sure that we're counting down 2020. And I wonder if anybody saw the Rick and Bubba thing that aired the other day. Can we air that for them? Can we show them the Rick and Bubba thing?
I'll have to look and see if I have the file on.
Just wait another day.
I could probably get it up today. I'll let you know if I.
Okay, yeah. Let me know. Let me know when we could play that last or something.
All right.
Okay, because we have plenty to do. But Rick and Bubba did something pretty crazy that I helped with, and so let's see, where do we want to start? Denise Murray. Hi to you. How many of you are here, right? Phyllis Smith, you're in your truck in Pennsylvania? Okay, I guess you're watching on your phone. Jim Midoff from Charlotte, Michigan. From Janice Wright from Unrau. And that's in Manitoba, right? Okay. Diane Hale, Tennessee. Sandra from Searcy, Arkansas, where Harding University is, where you guys barbecued your mascot. Irene Robinson, how are you doing over in Louisiana? Can you believe, Irene, LSU and Alabama are not playing this week? They're not even going to play. It's the first time in like 10,000 years, first year in 10,000 years that they haven't played. And I am amazed that you guys are scared to play us this year. But that's okay. It's all right. Deborah McCluskey, hey, from Orange Beach. And who else? From Texas, Linda Rogers Coleman. David Larder, greetings from a veteran in Phoenix. Thank you, David. Appreciate you serving. We're going to be talking about some veteran stuff here in a few minutes that I think you'll really get a kick out of. Betty Ayers from Troy, from Marcy Crossell Taylor from Washington State. We got them all over. Everybody. Hey, please don't forget to share, okay? Please. If you could do that, that would just help us out a lot. We're just wanting to touch a bunch of people. We've got some cool things coming up. I think this would be a good show for you to share because we got some good stuff. I'm going to read you something from maybe my favorite book that I've ever written. Just read you a couple pages from that, and I'm going to show you some stuff that I had never seen before. And then if Matt can get the thing from Rick and Bubba, we'll show you that too. You think? How's it happening? Are you having any success? Not yet. Oh well. Well, maybe we will have some. Anyway, all right. Let's see. You ready to start? Oh, I want to tell you about my shirt first. My shirt. I hope my sister and brother-in-law are watching today because I'm wearing the shirt that Steve gave me recently. As you can see, this is a Star Trek shirt. And it says, I might not make it. It's the red shirt from Star Trek. I might not make it. It's kind of an inside joke, okay? Because the real Trekkie fans, of which I had to have the joke explained to me, okay? But I still think it's a cool joke. The Trekkies noticed through the years that whenever the people from the Starship Enterprise would go down to another planet, there's a group of them, and there's the stars, then there's some other people with them. And when they get in trouble and all, it seemed to always be the person wearing the red shirt who got killed. It's always the red shirt person that, was zapped or eaten by a monster or something. So there's the Star Trek red shirt. I might not make it. So I think that's a very funny shirt, and I appreciate Steve and Christy getting that for me. So what about the countdown clock? How close?
I'm gonna have to tell you what the countdown clock says. I updated software yesterday, and there was a few settings that got lost, and so I got to recreate the countdown clock.
Okay. All right.
But it looks like we are 49 days,
49
11 hours, and 37 minutes.
And 37 minutes and some such seconds away from 2021. Okay. Well, there you go. You ready? All right. We're going to get started here. One of my favorite books, and it's, this is one of my favorite books I've ever written, and one of the two books that nobody knows that I've written. And the other one that nobody knows I've written is my wife's favorite book called The Lost Choice. But this one is The Heart Mender, and it's in audio and all forms. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry I didn't turn that off. Ha! That's Sean Hanks saying love the shirt. Glad you do, buddy. Let's see. I'm not turning this off. Okay, there we go. So this book is one of the favorite things that I wrote because I think it's because it's my favorite story, and so much happened to cause this book. It starts off in present day with me finding something that we're taking out a tree and finding something in the sand. And it's an old rusted can that has some stuff in it that I start looking, and I'm like, the pictures are very odd, and some of the metal stuff, and some of it is Nazi stuff, and so I start researching it and figuring out, and I ask the old people at our church, so what do you know about this? And start finding out about what really happened here. And, you can look on the internet and see this. So this is a story about the time in World War II when Operation Drumbeat was going on. That's what Hitler called it. And it was when the Nazi submarines, the U-boats, were in the Gulf of Mexico, and they were sinking ships coming out of the port of New Orleans and out of Mobile. And so, this really happened. And so the numbers in here, it was all kind of covered up by the government at the time. And by the time the internet came around and that stuff was on the internet, nobody even knew about it. And so the book is the story about that time. And so after we are in present day, we go back to 1942, and the story is about a man who his name is Joseph Landerman, and he considered himself a German, not a Nazi, but he was forced to serve on a U-boat. And so, hey, Bob Woodall, glad you're there in Dothan, Alabama. So Joseph Landerman was forced to serve on the U-boat. And at one point, he was betrayed by the political officer on the U-boat. And, they would come in at night, and there were people along here who would fuel them. And so he had gotten betrayed by the political officer and shot, but made it to shore. And he was found by a young American war widow, whose name was Helen Mason, and so her husband had recently been killed over in Europe in the war, and when she found him and recognized the uniform, she almost killed him with her bare hands. And so he said something there at the last minute that stopped her. I won't tell you exactly what he said, but the story becomes how they hide in small town 1942 America, and why they hide, and what ultimately happens because of it. And so this is Joseph Landerman right there. And, we're going to be opening the outside here, opening the whole studio Thanksgiving weekend. And so we've got a ton of memorabilia, things that you can come see, look at, examine, and one of them is the artifacts from this book, from the Heart Mender. And so that's what he looked like. And then this was the Knight's Cross that was in the can. Some of the buttons that were on a Kriegsmariner's uniform. There were 7 buttons in the can, seven, I think. And then this, I didn't know what this was until I finally found it on the internet. And, Mr. Noticer here, I did not notice that I was looking at I saw the anchor and all, but I didn't realize I was looking at a U and a B for a U-boat until I found it on the internet. And this was worn. This wasn't an official thing, but it was worn primarily by people as kind of a way to, I guess, protest what they were having to do. It was worn by officers in the Kriegsmarine Corps who considered themselves, Germans, not Nazis. All right, so that was a piece of jewelry that wasn't from the government, and so they would get it, and that kind of said who they were to that crew. And then this is I wish you could see. You can see the pictures, or the close-ups are in the book. Sandy Gossett says, that's my favorite book of all time. Love the characters, the storyline, and the history. We'll be at the studio over Thanksgiving. Good. So this picture, this picture of this ring, I wish you could see a close-up, but it has writing on the band. I'm fixing to read you the part about it in here. It says, WIRFAHREN GEGEN ENGELLAND. Wir fahren gegen England. And it has that mean-looking Nazi eagle and a U-boat right there, but that's an official Kriegsmarine U-boats. And so I'm going to read you a little bit, and then I'm going to show you some more stuff that I think will blow your mind. But just a couple of pages here. So she decided not to kill him. They're hiding. And so they're in her little cabin, which if you come into our area, at some point I need to read you the very back of this about how you can find some of these areas. But what we call the Badlands is still down there off Fort Morgan Road, and you can walk from Fort Morgan Road all the way to the beach. And so that whole area looks just like it did when Helen's house was out in the middle of nowhere. So here we go. A week passed. Joseph's shoulder was healing, and though the pain and stiffness had not abated to any great degree, he sensed progress. The wound on his leg, while sore, now amounted to nothing more than a long scab. Even his facial cuts and bruises were clearing. Helen, Joseph worried, had abandoned her social life since he had arrived. It was apparent to him, he said one day, that she did nothing beyond the cafe and home. He urged her to be careful not to alert anyone else to her change of schedule. She had laughed and told him that she had no social life to abandon, a statement Joseph accepted but found hard to believe. After all, she was beautiful, Joseph admitted to himself, even if she had been frustratingly rude, mean, and generally difficult to like. Over the past few days, however, even that had changed a bit. Helen no longer snarled at him with every sentence, and they had begun to have tentative conversations about their lives, nothing serious but cordial. Helen's questions no longer came wrapped in an accusatory tone, and for that Joseph was grateful. So far, he had not left the house. He still wore his uniform. Helen washed it every other day, but he removed the ribbon and the U-boat badge, placing it in a buttoned pocket with his iron cross and ring. Helen asked to see the items one day, and he let her. "What does this say?" she asked, pointing to the script that wrapped around the ring. They sat, drinking tea, at the kitchen table. "We sail against England," he said. "The ring was a gift from my best friend, my commander Hans Kuhlmann, when I came aboard his ship." As Joseph talked, Helen traced the letters with a fingernail. "We grew up together, Hans and I. He is a good man. Hans loves the Kriegsmarine, Navy to you, and is about the business for which he was born, but shares my dislike of Hitler and his so-called high command." Joseph reached for the ring. Holding it aloft, he said, "We sail against England," and shook his head sadly. "How stupid." He dropped the ring back into his pocket and buttoned it up. "Especially stupid for me. I was at Oxford for 4 years and love everything about the country." Joseph grinned suddenly and straightened his back, affecting a haughty expression, and then, in a perfect British accent, said, "Love it, I do. Smashing place, what? Fish, chips, Big Ben, bloody foggy on occasion, but then so's my disposition. All in all, lovely country." Helen's eyes opened wide. "Wow," she exclaimed and genuinely laughed. "That was incredible. How do you do that?" Joseph smiled. "No great talent, really. I've always been able to imitate dialects, sounds, whatever." He shrugged. "If I can hear it, I can do it. Not a useful skill, but it entertained my classmates." They sat quietly for a while, and for the first time, Joseph felt completely at ease with Helen. He had already heard the story of how she came to own this cottage in the middle of nowhere, and although Helen refused to talk about her husband, she seemed fairly forthcoming about other aspects of her life there along the Gulf Coast. Joseph noticed, however, that despite Helen's ability to be polite when she needed to be and present an occasional smile, there was an anger that bubbled just below her calm demeanor. Absently, Joseph flipped through several magazines that were in a small wooden rack beside the table. Does your government require all publications in America to display your flag on the cover? What? Helen scrunched her face up in a puzzled expression, then understood. Oh, I see what you're asking, she said. No one has required them to do it. They just did. See? Helen reached across Joseph and drew several magazines from the holder and scattered them about the tabletop. Joseph saw Newsweek, Good Housekeeping, Ladies' Home Journal, Glamour, and Vogue. Each cover featured a flag in a scene or standing alone. Joseph also noticed the motto, United We Stand, on every one. It's July, Helen explained. This is our country's birthday month, and obviously we are at war. Anyway, every magazine, comic book, and periodical in the country, more than 500 of them, made the flag their cover. Really? Yep. Helen dug out a few more. See? Every magazine in America, July 1942, has a flag, from Time to Popular Mechanics to Life and Field and Stream. They all did it. Incredible, Joseph murmured. It is, isn't it? Helen affirmed, a hint of pride in her voice. She allowed Joseph time to glance through the covers, then spoke. I want to ask you about something you said the other day. Certainly. Joseph put down the magazines and focused on Helen. You said, God forbid that we, our country, should ever be forced to do the bidding of a madman. I said it would never happen here, and you responded with words to the effect of, don't bet on it. I don't get the idea you're being a wise guy. I think you were being serious. Helen left the statement as a query hanging in the air. Indeed I was, Joseph confirmed, and seizing upon Helen's questioning expression as permission to continue, did so. History tells us that a democracy is always temporary in nature. It simply cannot exist as a permanent form of government. My country is a classic example, and as a humble but sincere student of history, I sorrowfully expect your country to one day follow suit. Oh, come on, Helen scoffed good-naturedly. To her, it was a statement of such impossibility that it didn't even provoke serious scorn. Joseph shrugged. This is not my idea, Helen, and it is not a new one. In 1787, Alexander Tyler, a Scottish history professor at the University of Edinburgh, noticed a continuing pattern in the advance and decline of the world's democracies. He stated then that a democracy would continue to exist until such time that the voters discover they can literally vote themselves gifts from the public treasury. From the moment that revelation is made, the majority proceeds to vote for the candidates who promise the most benefits from the public treasury. The final result is that every democracy finally collapses due to loose fiscal policy. That collapse is always followed by a dictatorship. Tyler charted the ages of the world's greatest civilizations from the beginning of history, an average existence of about 200 years. Every single time these nations progressed through the following sequence, from bondage to spiritual faith, from spiritual faith to great courage, from courage to liberty, from liberty to abundance, from abundance to complacency, from complacency to apathy, from apathy to dependence, and finally, from dependence back into bondage. Joseph ended and gestured with his hands as if to say, "There you are," then added, "Of course, as I said before, God forbid." Helen simply nodded. So, you heard the part about the magazines. When I was researching the book, getting ready to do that. Oh, wait, back up. I want to say that. Who's that? Melinda Broussard. She said, "Great book. Thank you." She says, "My 86-year-old friend said she remembered seeing those U-boats right here along 30A. Yep, over there toward Destin and Panama City. She said the Germans did come ashore and dated friends of hers." Amazing. Yeah, when there was one group that was captors mentioned in the book that had a ticket stub from the Sanger Theater in New Orleans in his pocket. And I thought I'd found a story that was like by itself. There is a German community near here called Alberta where they have the sausage festival twice a year. And it was amazing to hear some people kind of come out of the woodwork. When the book came out, people go, my granddad kind of got away like that. So it's pretty curious to hear. But in any case, as I was doing the research for this book, I got so interested in the stuff I was finding out that I began to almost like I do with almost every book, which is why we have stuff in here from the Lusitania that was in the Lost Joys. We have Winston Churchill's whiskey decanters. We have just a lot of stuff in here for you to see. But one of the things that I started to collect, and I hope we have these. I hope we have these framed by Thanksgiving. We're getting them to the framers tomorrow. But I have collected a bunch of those magazines from July 1942, and I thought you might want to just see some of them, okay? So, and these are all July 1942, okay? There's Reader's Digest. Can you see these okay, Matt? Do I need to hold them out like that, or?
Yeah, we can hold it out. It's good.
Out, okay. So there's Reader's Digest. And then Popular Mechanics. This is kind of funny. True Romance. The flag. These are all beautiful, though, and especially, about once a year I pull them out, spread them all over the floor, and look at them. This is The Atlantic. National Geographic with an ad for spam on the back. All right. Outdoors. Then here is Good Housekeeping. Some of them had, they used the flag in scenes. Those are my favorite ones. I like the ones that just have the flag on it, but I also like the ones where they were creative with what they did. Sports Afield. This is Sports Field, and you can see it has the hunter and the guy from the Revolutionary War both walking across the field carrying their guns. Again, all July 42. This is Field and Stream. Time magazine. And this is kind of curious. This is something you might not know, but on the back is a Lucky Strike commercial or ad. It's a Lucky Strike was a cigarette then, and this was right before the Army, the government, confiscated all the green dye. I mean, nobody could get anything green anymore, and so Lucky Strike were traditionally, it was a green package. And so they took what was for them, like a problem, and made it patriotic. And so the saying that they began to put in their ads was, because they came out with a red package, but the thing on the ad was Lucky Strike Green has gone to war. So that was on Time magazine. This is Astounding Science Fiction. And then Better Homes and Gardens, which shows a aerial view of the yard. Life magazine. Somebody said, love these flag pictures. The Spam, not so much. Yeah, me either. Polly likes it, though. Polly likes Spam. This is one of my favorites. And it's because they just, Collier's was a fashion magazine, right? So there's Collier's. And if you look very closely, the flag, that's the earrings that she's putting on. I just think that's really, really pretty. Almost all these back then were, they were also drawings. They weren't, they weren't photographs, they were drawings. Beverly Newton Simon says, my uncle was in the Navy and chosen to model a sailor smoking a cigarette in Chesterfield and Lucky Strike ads. What was funny was that he never smoked, and my dad had accidentally cut off his finger while chopping wood, so they had to make him a prosthesis so he could hold the cigarette. That is great. What a great story. Well, I've got some Chesterfield ads in here, and so we'll try to find your dad here. All right, here's Saturday Evening Post. I think that's very nice. I'm getting down to it. 3 more. Okay, this is Look magazine. And I'm assuming that that is not your dad in that Chesterfield commercial, that Chesterfield ad. It's funny to see what they said in all these cigarette ads. I've got one on one magazine that has Ronald Reagan on the back smoking, I said, in wartime, more than ever, a satisfying smoke is a comfort and a pleasure. Whatever you're doing for Uncle Sam, Chesterfields will help make your job more pleasant. Yeah, okay. This is Woman's Home Companion. And it has the same Chesterfield ad on the back of that. And then this is one of my favorites from July 1942. There are a lot of war editions, okay, but this is just one of my favorites. This is Ladies' Home Journal, and I just think this is beautiful. One day, when we're in here together, I will show you. I also collect some of the not necessarily July 42. I have all three of the Outdoor Life, Field and Stream, and Sports Afield July 42. I actually have them framed in one frame. But I collected a lot of the war editions of those, and they were all drawings, they were all paintings. And there were three that I had framed that I gave to General Schwarzkopf. And so, but I collect these things, and I'll show you some of the war editions of the outdoor magazines, because they're some of them are funny, some of them are just gorgeous, and I think you'll really enjoy them. I appreciate you being with us today. We have the Rick and Bubba video. It's good to go, and so let's just watch that together. You ready? Here, let's run it.
Look, there's a lot going on right now, and we're a nation in chaos, and it's a ballroom blitz, as we keep talking about. It's just fighting, and we kind of reached out to a friend of ours, Andy Andrews, to try to bring some levity to all this, and I just want everybody to concentrate, listen. If you can't see it, but the guys, men here in the room too, let's just have a look, and let's, Andy's a calming voice. Do you agree with that? Now, sometimes we don't know what he's talking about, but
right.
isn't he?
Right. He's got some good grapefruits.
Yeah, he is. He's a calming voice. So everybody just take a breath, and let's listen from Andy Andrews.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andy Andrews. It's getting later in the day here in Orange Beach, and here are my private thoughts about what's going on. Like it or not, November is here. A new season in our lives is being established. We've all seen a lot of hate spewed in recent months about a man who has shown America that he is a consistent winner. And apparently, that is what many people hate about him. Yes, he has twisted the truth on occasion. Yes, he has even been caught in outright lies. He is, however, still hanging himself out there and proving his detractors wrong again and again. Some people are simply jealous, biased against a man who is successful, powerful, and has a lot of money. The fact that he is married to a beautiful foreign model seems to cause some people to hate him even more. For whatever reason, perhaps you or other family members never wanted him in this position in the first place. But he's there, at least for now, and there's nothing anyone can do about it at the moment. Therefore, I say, like him or not, you have to admit that Tom Brady really appears to be turning things around for the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. There.
Well done.
I said it. Thanks.
Golly, that's
I just
good.
needed to get that off my chest.
That's right. How about that?
Good one, Andy.
Andy. That was well done.
Wow. Too well.
Doubled it up. He had me.
Hey, the entire time had me.
He had me.
Until I saw Tom Brady's picture, he had me.
His delivery was really good.
Hell yeah! Hey, the goat's throwing it around.
Yeah.
Boy, let me tell you.
Yeah, sure. There's
About to get another weapon too.
I tell you what's incredible is that when you listen to the comparison, and wow, there's a lot of comparison.
It really is.
That's why it had us.
So, Andy, thank you for that.
Tom Brady seems to have turned it.
Like it or not,
Needed
Like
that.
it or not.
Needed that.
It's good.
people hate him for all these reasons. Oh gosh, that's good.
That was a lot of fun. I love Rick and Bubba and that whole crew up there. And I had sent it to Rick, and Rick said, I'm going to get these other guys with it tomorrow. And so I knew he was going to play it, but it was funny watching those guys. I actually did Jason Romano's podcast yesterday. I was a guest on it, and Jason Romano was a big producer for ESPN for years, and now is doing his own thing, and so he does a sports podcast, and I've done some stuff with sports people, and And so I'm on there, and he said something about 2020 and what am I thinking about now and what's going on. And I just thought, okay, I'm going to go into this. And I went into that. And Jason, he had been, doing this the entire time and, talking. And when I started into that, I saw him kind of going. And when I sprung the Brady on him, it was, that's just, to me, that's just one of the funniest things to do. People lead them one way and get them another. So let me end with this. I'll tell you a joke. I'm going to tell you a joke that you can use. You go today and use it on your friends, and you can get everybody with this. This is just one of the greatest jokes because people will just totally fall for it like every time. All right. So here's what you do. Just go in and just like right in, and get in somewhere in the middle of a thing, just go, oh man, I hate watching the news. And then, that actress and all that happened last night. I didn't want to hear about that. And then they'll go, what? The actress, she stabbed several people. And they go, what? Who? Shoot. I can't think of her name. You know her. You know who she is. Oh, shoot. But yeah, she was in some traffic problem a couple of years ago, and now another traffic thing. She stabbed several people, and they're like, who? Where? And you go, I can't think of her name. It was Reese. And they'll go, Witherspoon? And you say, no, with her knife. She did it with her knife. And people just absolutely fall over. It's just one of my favorite things to do. I may go out there and find somebody to do it today. Anyway, thank you for being with us. We'll see you next week. You guys have a good end of the week, a safe weekend, and we'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye-bye.